All right, YouTubers, welcome back to War Thunder with the Angry Nerd. And today I thought I would do something that has been requested several times, and I just got another request a couple of days ago, so I decided to break down and do it. And this is going to be Angry Nerd's unconventional crew skills and research techniques. Now, you noticed I called it techniques and not a guide, because I don't necessarily recommend the way that I do it for anyone else to do it. I've never seen anybody do crew skills and stuff the way that I do it. So I can't necessarily I'm just going to show you what I do. You may do it if you like, can't stop you. And if you do it and it works out, hey, I'm glad. So the first thing that I have to say is, do not pay gold for any crew slots. Never pay gold for crew slots. Trust me, later on when you've been playing the game, you're not going to need that crew slot. Okay? Tanks, you only get 3. Right? Aircraft, you get a bunch, but you're not going to need 6 crew slots, so don't do it. Spend that gold wisely somewhere else. Crew skills, premium time, or premium vehicles, something like that. Don't put it on a crew slot. Okay, so as you can probably see, this is not my standard account. This is just an account that I created for, you know, kind of having it set back toward the beginning. So, second thing I must highly recommend is do the tutorials, please, for no other reason than it's gonna give you $100, I mean not $100, 100 golden eagles and 10,000 silver lions. With that, you can buy more crew slots. You know, these first 5 you purchase with silver lions. Go for it. Get those crew slots all day long. No golden eagles for crew slots. So do your tutorials, okay? Now, and if this isn't up on yours and you need to know, come to menu right here, tutorials, and you'll find that's where you do your tutorials. Okay? Fighter, assault plane, bomber, takeoff, basic tutorial, tank, advanced tutorials. Yeah, go for it. Do them all. I won't do anything but help you and give you some silver lions and golden eagles. Okay, now in a little while we're going to switch over to my standard account. But for right now, I just wanted to show you. Let's look over here. See here, this is the German account. I have a reserve aircraft in here, and this is you recruit a crew for 5,000, and I think like the next one's 10,000 and 50,000. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and look. Here is 5,000. Yes, we'll take a crew slot. We don't want to put anything in. Oh, 10,000. Yes, sure. Let's take another crew slot. And the last one is 50,000. Okay, so yeah, go for that. No golden eagles. So let's see if there's anything else I need to say while I'm on this thing here. No. Stand by just a minute, and I'm going to switch over to my regular account. Okay, so I'm back, and here we are in Angry Nerd's regular account. So let's talk about crew skills just a little bit. Let's switch over to Aviation. Go to research, aviation, throw one guy in here. This will work. Okay, so what a lot of people suggest is that you pick one crew and assign that as your fighter crew, and a second crew as your bomber crew. And that's what I did. When I first started playing War Thunder, I looked, and that was what was recommended, and that's how I started. And it worked for me for a little while until I actually started doing YouTube videos. And if you look at some of my earlier videos, especially the aircraft videos, you'll see that I mostly fly out with one aircraft, just like I have loaded up here with all my other slots vacant. And I would just go to battle with one aircraft because that was the aircraft that I was showcasing, and I didn't want any other aircraft taking up any of the video time. So that was just me. But it actually started benefiting me greatly, especially once ground forces came out. So let's just go over the crew skills just a little bit. So if you are going to separate out your aircraft crew and your bomber crew into two separate crews, what I would suggest is for the fighter crew that you work on your pilot skills and your ground service skills, especially ground service in weapon reload and weapon maintenance. Weapon reload is how fast your guns rearm when either they run out of ammunition or you intentionally rearm to keep from running out. Weapon maintenance improves the accuracy of your weapons. Repair rank is not quite as important as it used to be, but once you can see I haven't put any crew points into this in a while. But repair speed, what repair speed does for you is when you're damaged and you land on a runway, it's how fast your aircraft will repair on the runway. Also, if you look right down here, this little wrench has a check mark and the little ammo has a check mark beside it. That is automatically repair and automatically rearm your aircraft after battle, and that costs silver lions. But if you don't want to automatically do it, you can uncheck this and your aircraft will remain damaged for a period of time, and once that period of time has elapsed, then it will be repaired and it won't cost you any silver lions. I don't think I've ever done it that way because I didn't want to wait for sometimes, a full day or more for my aircraft to repair. But repair speed also affects that. If you don't have it automatically, it affects how quickly it's repaired after battle. But yeah, I always just check those, and they've been checked since I started the game. I hadn't really worried about it. Qualification. Let's look here. Upgrade qualification to expert. Let's look at the ground service, the gunners here. Now let's go to qualification. Upgrade to expert. Just cost me some silver lions, right? Plus 30 on keen vision and awareness just for upgrading the qualifications. My ground service plus 30 to repair speed and reload speed. So it is worth it. Plus 30 for fire accuracy and fire precision on my gunners. Now your gunners do not affect your fighter aircraft. It only affects secondary gun. If you have somebody other than the pilot in there and he's a gunner, then this affects that person. So yes, do the qualification, upgrade. I can't say I recommend spending any gold. I don't think I've ever spent golden eagles to expert a crew, but I have upgraded almost all my crews. Well, that doesn't look like it, but that's because I hadn't played Air Forces in a really long time, and I had already passed most of these a long time ago. So, pilot, right? Keen vision, you want to be able to see your enemy. Awareness, you don't want your enemy to be able to sneak up, get on your 6 without you noticing it. So I put a lot of emphasis on keen vision and awareness. Let's switch something right quick. Let's throw a bomber into this crew slot right here. Let's take a look at this crew. And the reason why this crew is like this is because that is when I started separating the crews. For some reason, I don't remember which one was my bomber crew and which one was my fighter crew, but one started getting a little ahead of the other, and then I started putting everybody on the one crew. Look at the number of vehicles and stuff that I have that can use this crew. Quite a bit, right? Now if I want to train this P26 on there, all I got to do is hit do you want them to be able, and now this one's on that crew. So anyway, I know this is rambling, but I didn't jot down any notes. This is how I do my crews. I'm going to switch to tanks right quick. Okay, we're going to switch to Army, choose a crew. Send to research. Okay, so if I started off and I was using the M2A4, and once I had researched, let's say I then researched the M2, well, what I would do is I would take and put that M2 in my best crew slot, which on all the other nations is crew 1. I don't know why it got to be crew 2 on the Americans, but bam, I put him in crew slot 1, and then that other vehicle I moved him over to crew slot 2, and then this became my favorite vehicle and my favorite crew. And so what happened is, because I don't know about you, but I always wanted to go into battle with the first with my best tank. So this is my best tank, and it was in the best crew that I had, and so it got used more. And then I got killed, and then I used this one, and then after a while I researched another vehicle, and I assigned it to the first crew slot, and then I went to the M2 and I moved it to the second crew slot, and then I went to the reserve and I moved it to the third crew slot, like that. So my best vehicle was in the crew slot number 1, my second best was in crew slot number 2, my third best was in crew slot number 3. And what ended up happening was crew slot number 1, crew experience and XP exponentially went faster than the other crews. And that way, when I got a new vehicle, I always put it on the best crew that I had, and I moved everybody down from there. And so I had the best vehicle on the best crew, and I got the best results from it. And as you can see, like crews, here are my recommendations. these 4 spots are your main spots. Look, I got almost nothing here. But your tank loader, weapon reloading, you need to be able to reload your gun as fast as possible to do more damage. Damage gives you more experience, right? So I concentrated a lot on weapon reloading, keen vision, and vitality. On the commander, keen vision, leadership, vitality, because you don't want your crew members knocked out. Gunner, keen vision, targeting, range finding, vitality, right? Driver, keen vision, vitality, field repair. Tank driving was secondary. The way that got filled up is if I didn't have enough to boost this up a spot, and I would just drop down and add one to here. But let's just look at the qualification, right? These are all the qualifications for that crew slot, right? Everybody, I've spent the money, except for this one. Let's go ahead and upgrade it. Spend the money to expert, or is it expert? Not expert, ace these guys, or whatever the next one is. I'm not spending golden eagles for it, but spend those silver lions to do it. It makes a difference, right? Tank driving and field repair, 30%. Gunner, 30% for field repair, targeting, and range finding. Commander, field repair, leadership, machine gunnery. Tank loader, weapon reloading, repair, radio operator, field repair, bow machine gunning, bow machine gunning, radio communication. You plus 30 to all those, man. Spend those silver lions for that. So keen vision is your ability to see the targets, right? So tank loading, I would only do keen vision up to about 50 until I got weapon reloading and vitality for everybody up to full. Because a lot of times the other people in your team are seeing the target for you. You don't want to be down at nothing, but once you hit 50%, concentrate on these other things. You don't want your crew members knocked out, right? And the last thing I'm working on, as you can see, is field repair. And I'm not worrying about the radio operator. Once I get all those others maxed out, then I'll start putting some stuff on him. So yeah, that's how I do my stuff. Let's switch over to the Germans, right? All these, everything is pretty much under crew slot number 1 there. So if we look at this crew, it's mostly maxed out, right? Except for the radio operator. Got a little bit more to do here on the keen vision. And we'll give him, there we go. Ooh, just spent 3 more. There you go. So I'm just going to throw something in crew slot 2 here so we can take a look at it right quick. Just throw this in there. And this is my second crew slot. Not near as filled out, right? But it's getting that way, right? But that's cause everything I go this first and then move them to the right. That's how I do it. Now a lot of people have been asking me, you know, how far am I along on my research and stuff. Let's take a look at the Japanese. Yeah, this is a new plane that they introduced, but I've got most everything researched out through Tier 4. I'm working on my first Tier 5 in the Japanese Air Force, but I haven't played Air Forces. I think the last video I put out was like 3 months ago. That's because my joystick, it's not my joystick, it's War Thunder's controls with the joystick. It just doesn't work like it used to, and it aggravates me, and I don't want to play with mouse and keyboard. So I've just been playing tanks. So that's how far I am in the Japanese. The British, right? These are some new vehicles that just got put in along with this whole line here. But as you can see, I had a lot of the Tier 4 aircraft. I was working on my first British jet when I stopped playing Air Forces. Russians were on ground, so let's take a look at it. I've got all of my Tier 3 stuff researched, and got the T-34-85 IS-2. Do I have that? Nope, that still needs to be researched along with that. So I'm in the process of researching the T-44 and don't have any Tier 5 vehicles researched at this time. Aviation, right? I had a lot of the Tier 4s done. That was some new stuff that got put in. And I was halfway to my MiG-9, but didn't have any Tier 5 aircraft. Germans. The German Army, I've got the Tiger P, right? I can use it. I've got the Panther A and the Panther G, and those are the only Tier 4s that I have. I have no Tier 5s in the German Army. For aviation, I had most Tier 4s except for the DO-217M1 and the TA-152. Had no Tier 5 aircraft. The Americans, all Tier 1, all Tier 2, all Tier 3. Working on Tier 4, I have the M41 and the M36. I also have the M4A3. Working on the M4A3 76W there. I wonder what this is, the Jumbo. So I have the Jumbo, and I'm working on this one. And I have no Tier 5 tanks. Aviation, this is a new aircraft that got put in. I have all through Tier 3, all but one Tier 4, which is the B-29. I have the P-80, and I was working on the Banshee when I switched it back to the A-36, because this was a new vehicle or new aircraft that got put in. So that's how far along I am on my research. So yeah, just a reminder that the way that I assign my vehicles to crews is to assign them to one crew. Every new vehicle goes to that crew and then gets moved down, and I always do the qualification and expert it out. Okay, so I must apologize for the spliciness of this video. I'm really tired and I forget to tell a bunch of stuff, so I'm sure this thing has been spliced 4 or 5 times and it may not look as smooth as it should, but we're just getting out information in this video. So earlier you heard me say that I didn't think you should ever pay for Golden Eagles for a crew. And the reason I say that is you're not going to need it once you progress into the game. Tanks, if you go into battle, you can only take 3, right? So you don't need to buy any extra crews. And planes, you won't need them after you've progressed up and you've gotten a little better. You won't use 6 aircraft in one game. And if you do, just end that game and start a new one. You know, so don't spend your Golden Eagles on it. Okay, so if you do, it's been so long since I did a realistic battle or a simulator battle, but I don't believe that you can use more than one in those. There may be a couple of realistic battles that you can use more than one tank in. Like I said, it's been a long time, but the amount of vehicles that you can use in realistic and simulator is very limited, so that extra slot is not going to do you any good. And what was I getting ready to say? I'm sure it's getting ready to be spliced again. Now I remember. By placing all your vehicles in the first crew slot, whether it be aircraft or tanks, you will build crew slot number 1 up much faster. Now, if you've already got one of the other crews that are better than the other, start putting them on that particular crew. But if you haven't, if they're all evenly, just start sticking them on crew slot number 1. And the way that will benefit you is in the simulator or realistic, where you are limited, you've got the one crew that's good for bombers and fighters or whatever that you're wanting to do. And it's a really good crew for everything. You know, so in that other battle mode, you've got a really good crew. It's not all split up that you've got, you know, a half-ass crew that you're going in with. So that's my other reasoning. Now, as far as research, we'll just use this for demonstration here. When you first get a vehicle, tracks will be set for research as default, right? This is on ground forces. As soon as you get it, switch it to parts. Research parts first, because if you get knocked out, not completely out, but get damaged and you can't repair, you know, there have been games where I didn't have parts researched, got hit, couldn't move, couldn't repair, couldn't do anything, ended up having just to press you know, jump out of the vehicle and blow it up just to get into another vehicle if I had one. So you want to get your parts first. That way you get to battle longer in your vehicle and your crew. If it allows you to go fire control, FPE, next, fire prevention equipment, do that, right? Protection first. Protection first, always. Okay? Then work your way up mobility, at least to get to the engine, transmission, and filters. Or you can go firepower if there's a better ammo that you need, or artillery, adjustment of fire, right? So what I do is go after parts, fire, control, the better ammo if I need the better ammo. I work my way to artillery support. I get adjustment of fire before I get elevation or turret drive. I go for engine, transmission, filters, suspension, tracks, and brake system is always the very last thing that I do. So yeah, I don't have brake system set up very well. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is my number pad or keypad setup. It's going to go by pretty quick. So here it is. Forward, reverse, left, right, pretty obvious. Ammo setup, look around, vehicle x-ray, select artillery, binoculars, repairs, and fire extinguishers. Okay, I'm going to show you another little trick. Instead of, you know, getting all into setting up custom battles and all this other kind of stuff, if you want to practice your gunnery, just hop over here into test drive. You can select your ammo or whatever you want, but it will allow you to do a couple of things. So when this boots up right here, okay, first of all, here's a T-26 right in front of us. Get rid of that. So you can find out what ammos work and the weak spots of vehicle. Here's high explosive on a T-26. Right? Hardly nothing. You select up that armor piercing. That last one was high explosive. Armor piercing on a T-26. See? Now let's close in the distance a little bit. It's a T-34 over there the other side of him. Now this is armor piercing. Let's see if we can hit the side of the T-34. Turret. Okay. This reserve tank against this T-34, not having a whole lot of luck. But if you come down underneath the tracks, right, and get, looky there. Oh, not very accurate. The track is hitting a little bit, but sometimes you can get a nice clean shot. And right underneath that, I don't know what happened to that one. But look at the damage that you can do. And we're at a good distance. We got even closer to this T-34. Let's just take a look and see what would happen. Let's see. You're getting all in some good stuff underneath there, right? Lots of sweet meat to tear up right underneath that section. That's a road wheel. That didn't help much. Do you see how much that's getting in there? And away goes a T-34. So the second thing you can do in here, besides figuring out what ammo does what and looking for weak spots and stuff on other vehicles, is you can practice your gunnery on moving targets. There's a moving target up in here. So let's just come through here, and there should be a vehicle driving around up in here somewhere. There he is, right over there. So if you have trouble hitting moving targets, right? And come park over here and work on your gunnery. Because you got all day. Use a low tier vehicle. I know I'm not going to hurt that T-34. Because the odds of me hitting him in a sweet spot are slim to none. But I can practice my gunnery on him all day. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff you can do out here, practicing your gunnery, looking for weak spots on vehicles and testing out what ammo works on what vehicles and stuff. That will also help you out when you're in game. So let's escape out of here and go back to the hangar. So if this video has helped you out and you like it, please hit that like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, hit that subscribe button. But as always, thanks for watching. Nerd out.